We're now in the final 2 days of 2022, and I thought it'd be kind of fun here at the end of the year to go through all the cards that I applied and got approved for. I did so and actually surprised myself because I realized I got approved for 12 credit cards from the very beginning all the way to today. So we're going to go through these. I'll talk a little bit about why I got them and the overall value that I anticipate receiving in the first year from having these card products. So kicking things off here in January 2022, I decided to get 0 cards. So given that I was not carrying any Hilton credit cards at this time, I decided that my first application for the year would be the Hilton Honors Business Credit Card there in February. I decided to pick up this card for the awesome welcome bonus that was going on at the time, which was 130,000 points plus a free night certificate. So all in, that was a ton of value. Also, the 12 point per dollar category for the top tier earnings on this card at Hilton properties is also very valuable because, again, in case you did not know, whenever I pay cash at hotels, I actually like to spend my money on the hotel credit cards rather than a Chase card or an Amex card that earn more flexible points. Moving into March 2022, I picked up a couple more cards here, the Chase Ink Business Preferred and the American Express Business Gold card. And these two cards had tremendous welcome offers in the first year. The Ink Business Preferred here had 100,000 points and the Business Gold had 90,000 points. So collectively, that was an incredible amount of value. Again, these are flexible, transferable points, so I can redeem them for pretty much any flight, any hotel, any rental car that I like. Plus, that Ink Business Preferred card here also makes all Chase points worth 25% more toward travel as a guaranteed flat rate as compared to cash back. Then along came April, where I decided to pick up the Chase Sapphire Preferred, perhaps one of the best personal credit cards that Chase offers. I decided to pick it up with a really strong limited time offer of 80,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points. And so again, just adding to my overall collection, if you will, of Chase points for a future redemption, that this welcome offer, plus having the card as well for transfer partners, primary rental car insurance, plus, again, that 25% multiplier like the Ink Business Preferred has is really, really nice overall, just for a $95 annual fee, because you also get a $50 annual hotel credit, bringing the effective annual fee down to just $45. Now, moving forward by another month into May, I decided to take this month completely off. Then moving into June, I decided to pick up another card here, which was the Advantage Aviator Business Card issued by Barclays. If you happen to fly AA several times throughout the year and you want to ramp up your stash of American Advantage miles, then this card, along with the other ones that Barclays issues, can be extremely valuable to you because oftentimes you'll see welcome offers that require like one purchase and then you can get like 60,000 or more miles. And they're so easy to meet. You can literally go pick up a popsicle or a pack of gum at your local gas station and that can qualify for meeting the bonus requirement. I don't quite remember if this was one of those offers or perhaps it was something else, maybe 3K in 3 months or whatever it happened to be, but I got 80,000 miles from this card, which was a great way to really increase my miles, again, for a future redemption. Getting further into the summer season now, in July, I picked up a couple more cards issued by Chase. It was both of the IHG cards. It was the Premier Business and then the Personal Premier version as well. And here are those two cards. The one that's darker in color, kind of like a deep turquoise or whatever you want to call it, is the business version, and the lighter kind of silver color is the personal version. Now, both of these had a welcome offer, I believe, of like 140,000 IHG points, which was great. And the personal one added on top of that an annual, or rather just a free night certificate in the first year as part of that welcome offer. And then both cards issue free night certificates ongoing every time you renew your card and pay the annual fee, basically your anniversary gift from these two cards. For that reason, I anticipate keeping both of these cards long term because you can oftentimes redeem those free night certificates for more value than the cost of the annual fee. So kind of like getting a hotel room at a discount. Moving right along into the month of August here, I decided to pick up the City Premier card, and this one had a really awesome bonus of 80,000 points, and these are kind of like Chase or Amex points in that they are entirely flexible and transferable to a bunch of other airline and hotel partners. So for a base rate here, 1 cent per point for cash back, 80,000 points is $800, but if you maximize further for those bigger trips abroad, especially in a premium cabin on an airline, it's easy to turn that $800 of value into $1,200, $1,600, $2,500 or more. And while it does have a $95 annual fee, it also comes with an annual $100 hotel credit. There are terms that apply, of course, but as long as I do use that, then this is pretty much a $5 money maker just by booking that one trip per year in a hotel, and then everything I earn on top of that is pure profit. And this card has some awesome triple point per dollar multipliers in useful areas like groceries, gas, travel, and more. So if you want to grab one card on a trip or just for your everyday use, for a certain time where you don't want to juggle multiple credit cards, it's a great one to have, especially if you just want one card to do it all. I decided to take a break from all applications in the month of September, so nothing happened there. But then once we hit deeper into the fall season of October, I picked up the American Express Blue Cash Everyday card. Not long ago, this card actually got a revamp from its design here. It's kind of cool looking now, and also with its rewards categories, it now earns 3% cash back in a bunch of categories. The most useful one to me most likely will be online shopping here in the US. So if I'm buying whatever on some sort of website, this card should be able to get that 3% cash back, where I might only get 1.5, or 2% with a different card for all my online shopping. All right, before we move along here, I also want to mention that if you already have a bunch of cards and if you plan on getting more in the future, it becomes increasingly more difficult to manage them all. So if you want to make that card management a whole lot easier, especially in the new year to come, check out today's sponsor called MAXREWARDS. MAXREWARDS is an app that allows you to manage your credit cards, rewards, and benefits all in one place. This includes seeing when your bills are due, tracking your sign-up bonuses, monitoring your credit scores, and more. On the Activity tab, you can view the transactions across all your cards to easily see where you've been spending your money, including the value of the rewards you've earned across different categories. Then the Best Card tab helps you identify which card to use for different purchases. That way you can earn points or cash back even faster. And perhaps my favorite feature is the Benefits and Offers dashboard, which you can unlock with the gold level of MAXREWARDS. You might be familiar with Chase offers, Amex offers, Bank of America deals, and others. Each time you sync the app, all of your offers will be activated automatically, including the hidden ones from Amex that you didn't even know about. And believe it or not, thanks to MAXREWARDS, my Schwab Platinum card actually had 264 offers that were already automatically activated and ready to go. And as I looked them over, I found a lot of them to be extremely useful. There were a handful of ones for travel, both with hotel companies and airlines, retailers like eBay, the North Face, Boxed, and others, as well as ways to save on gas and even on some of my utilities, like saving 10% back on my internet and cable bills. So if you'd like to try MAXREWARDS, use the link down below in the description to get the gold level entirely free for your first month. And now back to my 2022 journey. Now moving into much more recent history, November 2022, I decided to apply for the Capital One Saver One card. Here's what that card looks like up close here. It looks kind of like a metal card given that it's kind of shiny, but only the regular Saver card is actually metal. This one, the Saver One with no annual fee, is just the plastic version. However, right now it's got an unbelievable set, almost too good to be true set of rewards categories. I'll put them here on the screen for you all to see, to look them over. Clearly, this is another one of those do-it-all credit cards if you happen to find yourself spending in a lot of these categories, because a lot of people don't like to juggle 3, 4, 5 cards. We in this community are kind of unique in that regard, but most people probably like 1, 2, at most 3 cards to juggle around. So to have one cover so many useful everyday type of categories is extremely valuable. And I do go on trips every so often where I want to have as thin of a wallet as possible, maybe like a little card holder or just a phone, ID, and one card in my pocket. And for those types of trips for massive convenience, I just want this one. And for a final month here to close out 2022 in December, I got the Bank of America Premium Rewards credit card, as well as my second American Express Blue Business Plus card. Here's your up close look at these two cards. The Blue Business Plus by Amex is a plastic card, and the Bank of America card is kind of like a heavy plastic. Maybe there's some metal in the core. It does weigh 10 grams while the American Express weighs 5 grams. So it is double the weight. I don't see any metal on the edges or anything like that, but it is kind of a thicker, beefier card. I got the B of A card for the 50,000 point welcome offer in the first year. That's $500 toward cash back or travel, but mainly also just to learn how to use the card product, the reward system, the portal, all that type of stuff, because this is my first ever personal B of A card. So when people ask me questions about the redemption options or all that, I was never able to really answer thoroughly in the past because I had none of their card products myself. So now I'm happy to say that I do. so I'm able to now help people in a much more effective way. And as for that Blue Business Plus, this is my first card ever under my EIN, under my LLC. So now I'm able to actually have an official business credit card, start building business credit, and keeping my personal and business worlds entirely separate from each other, and that'll feel really, really nice going forward. Plus, it also had a 50,000 point welcome offer in the first year, and I got 12 months to meet the spend requirement. Pretty big at 15,000 bucks. But again, having 12 months to do that, not so big of a deal. Now let's check out the total value that I received from just the welcome offers alone on all of these cards in the first year. Here's that same timeline that you saw throughout the video, this time with the dollar value that I anticipate getting from these welcome offers. For the cards that earn flexible and or transferable points, like the ones from Chase, Amex, or Citi, I just put those roughly at 1 cent per point or 1.1 cent per point for Amex, basically the cash value that I'm able to get. Just know that if I redeem for certain types of travel, the value might be even higher. But if you add all these up, I was able to attain a value of $8,191 all in just from the initial welcome offers. But a lot of these cards do have annual fees, so let's add those up too and subtract them to see what the overall profit's going to be. The total value again was $8,191. The total of the annual fees was $1,063, so subtracting that out, I was able to realize a profit of $7,128. So for all of y'all out there who wonder how in the world does anybody justify $1,000 in annual fees, well, it's pretty simple. Especially in the first year, the value is so much greater than the cost of those fees that it pretty much speaks for itself. Then in year 2 and beyond, it's all about how many points you earn, how much you value the perks and benefits, any credits that you might be able to use, etc. So that's where the math really comes into play to make sure you're getting positive value from the cards long term. And if you don't, then you downgrade to a no fee version or you just cancel the card product outright. Here's another fun view of all 12 of these cards by type and issuer. So with Chase, I got 4 cards. Amex also 4, and then with Citi, Bank of America, Capital One, and Barclays, I got 1 card from each of those banks. All in, this ended up being 6 personal credit cards and 6 business credit cards. And if you're wondering how I pulled that all off, well, with Chase, I was like at 2 or 324 for a while, therefore I got a couple of their cards. I was then at 524, some more of my cards aged off of that timeline, so I was back at like 424 again, and then I rounded off my applications with Chase for 4 all in. With Amex, it's really not that difficult because they're not that sensitive to recent inquiries or recently opened accounts, at least not in my experience. I believe if I remember correctly, I actually gotten approved for some cards by Amex when I had like 14 or 15 inquiries on my Experian credit report. The other 4 issuers here tend to be a little more sensitive toward inquiries and recently opened accounts. Citi, at least for me, not so much. They tend to be pretty easy as well. Other people have different stories where it's quite the opposite, so your mileage may vary. However, I also have banking relationships with Citi, Bank of America, and Capital One, so perhaps that helped with some approvals. I have no objective way of knowing that, but there are some anecdotal evidence and data points suggesting that it may help, especially with Bank of America. So being under 524 for the first part of the year made it easy to work with Chase. Amex is easy with inquiries and accounts in general. Also, since I already had a card relationship established with them, they tend to do soft pulls from that moment going forward. So all 4 of those American Express cards that I got were all a soft pull. And third, given that half of the cards that I applied for this year were all business credit card products, none of those appear on my personal credit report. Therefore, they don't affect my average age of credit history, nor does the payment history affect me. And if I close the cards later, also has no effect on my credit report. Hopefully that gives you at least a little bit of insight in terms of how I was able to get approved for all these card products by keeping in mind kind of how these issuers work, also spacing out my applications throughout the year rather than doing 12 in like 2 or 3 months, plus keeping a strong credit score, strong payment history, and all that stuff intact as well is very important to get those approvals. And with all that said, if you enjoyed this video and believe it could benefit or at least entertain other people, then please help me get it in front of them by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on those notifications. Also check out the links down below in the description area to earn some more cash back when you shop online through Rakuten, to sign up for MAXREWARDS, which is a great app to manage multiple credit cards, rewards, and benefits all in one place, and to view my site with some great credit card offers that I've organized into different categories to help you find the cards that you like best. I thank you all for watching today's video. I hope it brought you some great value. I look forward to seeing you in future videos, and while you're waiting on my next upload, which will be in 2023, I want you always to remember that you are great. See you next year, y'all.